Good morning, it's Anand here from Osho, Ireland. I'm about 1 or 2 minutes late. I was trying to find the go live. It seemed to have changed. So today is the 16th meditation from the Osho Book of Secrets, and this is another centering technique. And before I go into this actual specific technique, earlier on in the book, the Osho Book of Secrets, now this is a very old edition, beautiful book, and you can buy a more up-to-date version. And in it, Osho talks about head-orientated and heart-orientated people. So last week, we did a technique where we closed all the openings, and that is Osho describes that as an easier technique to do. It can be suitable for anyone. This technique this week is heart orientated. So he talks about if you're a feeling type or a heart orientated type. And he says that many of us often like to think we're heart orientated, but maybe we're head orientated. And he asks the question for yourself is, how to watch yourself, do you respond from the heart or from the head? For example, he uses the example of if you see a beggar, do you think about, well, how can we make the world a better place that there is no begging, or, that kind of thing? Or do you feel immediately with the beggar? So this technique is much more suitable for heart orientated, very feeling types of people. So I'm just going to read out the instructions, and then I'm going to make some suggestions that we can try both right now in this live video and also developing your heart center more throughout the day. So the technique is absorb the senses in your heart. Blessed One, as senses are absorbed in the heart, reach the center of the lotus. So in order to do this technique is to discover, are you head orientated or heart orientated? And there's no judgment here. Head orientated persons maybe really relate very well with Buddhism or with reasoning, with exploring through the mind, with koans, with that kind of thing. And each method or each way will still lead you to connecting in with your center, but each of us have a different way, and we're more developed in the head, or we're more developed in the heart, or maybe a bit of both, or a bit of in between. I've been exploring this question. I think I'm between the head and the heart. I'm a very feeling type, but sometimes I'm ashamed of being a feeling type. That's actually what came up for me this morning. So what Osho says about this technique, if you're a feeling type, he says, well, how can you do this? So if you touch someone, if you're a heart-orientated person, the touch immediately goes to your heart. Osho says this. Or when listening to music, imagine yourself with no head and you're just listening to the music from your heart. Or if you're looking at something, looking at it from your heart, whether you're looking at a tree or a flower or a stone or anything, it's kind of just visualizing yourself with no head and seeing it without the mind going, oh, that's beautiful, or the mind doing that running commentary. I have had the experience where I have what I call a direct experience with a tree or with a flower. There's no running commentary. There's just me, tree. It's not even me, I don't know how to describe it. With music, allowing yourself to hear music or sounds. So what I'm going to do for the next 10 minutes is maybe invite us all to listen to sounds, or you can look at something. But I'm going to close my eyes and allow the sounds to fill my heart. And as the sounds go into your heart center, something happens in your heart. It opens up. It becomes like a lotus. And the more that that develops, eventually, naturally, you'll drop into your center, which is in your navel. So let's try this with using our senses. And if you want, you can look at something, or maybe you want to touch your hand, or the sound, or taste something, or listen to something. So I'm just going to listen to the natural sounds around me for about 10 minutes or so. You can make every day a real adventure by absorbing everything through your senses into your heart. Whether it's looking at the sky, walking down the street, seeing things that maybe you wouldn't have noticed before, or feeling things that you wouldn't have felt before, or hearing things. It's a wonderful way to play. So if this is something that you're drawn to, play with it. Thank you for joining me, and I will be back next Sunday at 11 for the 17th technique. The numbers are going to start getting tricky with me, and thank you very much for joining me. And there's a lovely Osho technique called Be Aware Who's Sensing. If you can get it somewhere on Spotify or somewhere, it's a really nice one to do. It has all the sight, sound, touch, and then sitting in silence. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.